Well, welcome to the show. I don't know where you're calling from. We're going to find that out in a second. But here it is a rainy Friday morning,
Gross.
sitting at a balming 34 degrees.
Woo.
We're rising here in the Midwest. So welcome to the show. Thanks for giving us some time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm in the Midwest with you. I'm in Columbus, Ohio. So it's very gray and gloomy, and it feels like winter outside instead of spring. So that's why I sound a little nasally, because my allergies have just gone haywire.
Maybe there's something we can do on the back end, because I'm a little nasally today too. Can you eliminate that?
No, I wish I could. I am on the same page as all of you.
Oh, that's okay.
Well,
this is a true and authentic spring Midwest podcast where everybody is having sinus issues. It's freezing cold and rainy. And We're just going to enjoy the Friday.
Yeah. Yes, we are. We'll just enjoy that ride.
So for those listeners who are not familiar with Ohio, like myself, where in Ohio is that located?
Okay, so if you think of the state of Ohio, it kind of looks like the shape of a heart in a way, Columbus is right center of the state. And so we're 70 passes through going east and west, and 71 goes north and south. And you can basically get to any state within 3 hours between all of our surrounding states.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So centrally located. Now, you said that you work in real estate. Could you give us a kind of a brief overview of what your business is in Ohio?
Yeah, so I am a real estate agent for a small kind of boutique brokerage. I'm not with a big name. So my brokerage is Serenity Realty, and I've been licensed for about 3 years. I work mostly residential. I haven't done anything commercial. I work a lot with buyers versus sellers, but trying to get a good mix in there, so yeah, it's been a fun ride so far.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that you're at a smaller brokerage. Myself, I am as well.
Okay.
Being a real estate agent is not the major part of my business. So when I was vetting out different brokerages, you obviously go into the big box and you sit down and see their presentations. But for me, it didn't fit well. I love the flexibility of a smaller brokerage.
Oh, yes.
They have the same amount of tools with the flexibility. It was the match for me was perfect.
Oh, absolutely. I agree 100%, because I initially, when I got my license, I was working a full-time job. So I was trying to transition into real estate, right? So that's not easy in itself. And I was with one company, and they weren't and I'm not going to name names, they weren't super big yet. But it was oh, you're supposed to have a mentor, but we don't know who your mentor is. And I'm well, how's that helpful, right? So then I go to a small brokerage, and his was great, but he was mostly set up for already established agents. He wasn't set up to train me, right? And even as real estate agents, we need a little bit of training. Nobody's asking you to hold our hands or anything like that, but it's I kind of need a little bit. And so then I found Serenity through one of my title partners, and she connected me with our broker, and it's been the best decision I've ever made.
Awesome.
That's awesome. And how long have you worked for Serenity?
It's been since September of 19. So What's it, almost 4 years. Yeah. Crazy.
Awesome. And it's probably going to get better, because you kind of started right at the beginning of the whole lockdown, which I'm sure changed everything for you.
It was I jumped in full time November of 2019. And so then of course COVID happened, right? And so none of us were all what is going to happen to the real estate market, right? Well, of course we know it just skyrocketed and went crazy, which I don't think any of us were expecting. Everybody's on lockdown, nobody can leave their house, but ironically, we're all still buying and selling houses, right?
Let's get a new house. No big deal.
No big deal. And I think what it is people were locked up in their houses and they were like, I'm really sick of these 4 walls. Can I get 4 new ones?
Yeah.
For sure.
And so it was kind of just amazing that real estate stayed on course and like just in a way like blew up, you know. I don't know about where you guys are, but here we're still very much in a seller's market versus a buyer's market. I feel like some of the buyers who were in a sense like tire kickers who weren't very serious have kind of weeded themselves out. But yeah, we're still seeing like a really strong seller's market here.
For sure.
Yeah, we are as well. It's usually houses up on Thursday, Friday, offers need to be in by Sunday night or Monday, and it's gone by Tuesday.
And they're still going above asking price too. Like it was really interesting. I had one of my other real estate agent friends come over the other day to kind of give me a valuation on our house because we have a 9-year-old, he'll be 10 in 2 days, 10-year-old son, and he grows quickly. We have a very small little house, 726 square feet. And I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? Are we going to buy a new house or are we going to add on to this house? And I was asking her, I'm like, what would a house be worth if we added on a master suite? And she's like, stay here, like do that. Don't go buy right now. It's crazy. And I was like, I think that's what we're going to do.
And that's really hard because it's like you want to like help your clients and your friends in the best way possible. Yeah. But like even myself, like we use my husband's VA loan. So I wouldn't even want to go buy a house right now for myself because I know how hard it is. Like I have one client that has a home sale contingency. We're already in contract, past inspections, working through remedy, almost ready to order the appraisal. And like nobody even wants to consider their offer because of that contingency. But then we say, hey, we have low inventory, but you're telling this like pool of potential sellers that are also buyers, like, well, you don't matter because you have a contingency. And it's just baffling to me.
Yeah. Yep. We've lost a couple offers with just an appraisal, even though they have a clause in to make up an appraisal up to $5,000 if it falls short. Yeah. They've tried everything. They're still losing 15, 20 over. And in their price point, they're battling a lot of cash buyers. So
yeah. We're seeing we're seeing a lot of investors come through and just want to like buy up everything. So I feel like that's where it's our job as the agent to educate our sellers on, do you want an investor, which like they're not all bad, don't get me wrong. Like, do you want an investor to come in, basically update your house a little bit and rent it out? Or do you want to like sell it to somebody who could actually like use your home? You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And that's a tough angle to get to now when you're seeing all these high offers.
Yeah, it really is.
At the end of the day, money does talk a lot in real estate. So
yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah. We just had one come back on Tuesday that said, unfortunately, the sellers are going with a different offer. It was a much higher cash offer. And that was it. And we're like, well, we didn't have a shot on that one, but we'll try again. So what were you doing before you got into real estate? You said in 2019, you were kind of half and half.
Yeah. So I, before real estate, I was in the criminal justice sector. So I've worked as like a paralegal. I was a records technician for a police department. I was a parole officer. Yeah, like that one always gets people, but I didn't.
I'm sure you have wild stories with that.
I have crazy stories, but the biggest curveball on that, which like you could edit this out if you want, is I was pregnant with my oldest and I was a parole officer for sex offenders and I couldn't carry a firearm.
Really?
Yeah.
Good scenario to be in at all.
No, not at all. So I was in the criminal justice sector. I had various positions. I've worked at a halfway house helping inmates transition from being in prison to being back in society and like getting a job, getting their IDs updated, finding housing and stuff like that. So I've been into like various prisons in the state of Ohio to talk to inmates about what that program was. and everything. So it was a really like diverse career path in the criminal justice sector for about 10 years.
Wow.
And what
That-
made you want to consider real estate after having such a good career in the criminal justice system?
Yeah, so I actually we bought our first house in 2014. Well, our only house right now in 2014. And but prior to that, when I was about 16, my mom was buying her house, and we met a really amazing agent who like let my mom rent her condo, like just giving my mom a chance because my mom had never like had a house outside of like being married to somebody. And so this woman like let us rent a condo, and then it was like, hey, now we want to buy a house. And she was like, I'm here for you. And she became like family to us. And so at like 16, like it kind of started to spark that interest. And then when we were buying our house in 2014, we called her again, like, hey, now myself and my husband are ready to buy a house. Like, can you help us? And she's like, absolutely. And and of course, in between that time, like the markets changed some, like 2008 happened, and now we're in 2014. And she was just so helpful, and like the way that she helped us and like pointed things out to us. By the end of us buying a house, she was like, why am I do this? She's like, why am I even showing you? Why am I even here? Basically.
Right.
And she's like, because you know everything, like since we've seen so many houses. And so that really got it on my back burner, because at the time I just didn't have I didn't really think that I could do it, I guess. And I didn't really have the means to go get my license, that kind of thing. And so, so I had kind of always kept it on a back burner, like, well, what if I did that? Like, how hard would it be? That kind of thing. And like, I'd never been like a small business owner or anything like that, So then fast forward about 4 years, 4 years, and my daycare provider was like, hey, I'm kind of sick of running an in-home daycare that I've done for 25 years, and what else could I do? And so her and I just started having a conversation, and I was like, well, I've always thought about real estate, and she's like, oh, that wouldn't be bad. Like, she's ran an in-home daycare for 25 years. She's got customer service experience. She knows how to run a business. And so we both just ended up jumping in together. We're like, why not? Like, let's just do this. Let's give it a try. And honestly, it was probably like one of the best decisions I've ever made. I ended up I just did like the 4 core classes to get my license. She went to Columbus State Community College, got her associate's degree and everything. And we've been doing this like together since then, and everything. So really like just that need for a different career path, like criminal justice it's still great. I love some of the things that people are still doing, but it just wasn't where my heart was anymore. And I've always loved real estate. I love helping people. Like that's my core, is I love helping people. I love looking at houses, because you don't know what you're walking into, right? Because pictures are deceiving. And so like it's just something that I truly enjoy, starting up. Like I'm 3 years in and I'm still growing. Nobody just hands you, here's 100 clients, go work them, right? And so it's really rewarding at the end of the day. I love the flexibility. I've got 2 little kids at home. My husband works like a corporate full-time job. And so it just allows me that flexibility that I need. And then again, just at the core of it, helping people, and, I get to have fun every day.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I can see the similarities of helping people with the parole side of it. And then the real estate, you're still that service provider, just in a completely different subsect of business, I guess. But yeah, you still get to scratch that itch and help your clients and all that. So that is perfect. And I think it's really cool that you found, I don't know if you could call her your mentor, but I guess business partner
Yeah.
now through that whole beginning process. I know when I got into real estate, the first person that I kind of leaned on to get started was the agent broker that showed me my first duplex, because I went out and I was like, I'm going to buy a duplex.
Yeah.
And then through talking to him, kind of got the confidence to go into real estate, because it's always been something in the back burner for me. So very similar stories on that one.
Nice. That's
Also,
awesome.
another similarity, I did the online courses as well. I didn't go to the in-person. When you talked to your partner, when she was going through the courses and you were going through the online, what was the big difference or advantage, disadvantage that you guys talked about from the in-person courses to the online go at your own pace?
I think the biggest difference was is she had professors who work in the field and could give like real world like experience and advice and everything, to where like I'm just learning from a textbook. I'm just learning basically how to pass a test. I don't know anything else, so I think that's the biggest difference. And like for me at the time, it took me almost a year to finish my classes, because I started, transitioned jobs, got pregnant with my second daughter, and was the job I transitioned to, I had to work during training on all 3 shifts. Like, so for a month I was on first shift, and then second, and then third. And it was a lot. And then I'm trying to get these classes done. Right. So I think that was our biggest difference, is she had like professors who could give her real world experience versus I just had a textbook.
Right.
Yeah. And I think it's a big personal preference, because people ask me all the time, what did you do and what should I do?
Yeah.
I can't answer that. Do you work better in a group? Do you work better with like real life experiences? Are you someone that can read a book and just kind of internalize it and picture what they're trying to say?
Yeah.
Do you have resources?
Note cards when I was going through training. Like my note cards were probably that thick.
Yeah.
The highlighter was, I think I went through like 3 or 4 of them through the book.
Yes.
And the other big thing is, do you have someone that you can reach out to? Like you were saying in the courses, there are people that actually are practicing real estate. They have real life experiences. They can now make an analogy to what is being said in the book. Because as you know, things that are said in the book and how they're actually practiced in real life, not always the same thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, like, the test teaches, or the courses are like teaching you like how to calculate square footage, how many, like what's an actual acreage, stuff like that. And I'm like, am I actually going to use this?
Yeah.
Right. No, that answer is probably no.
Yeah.
I do use the acreage thing. I do use that.
Oh, okay.
But that's more on the investment side. I've never used on the agent side.
Okay.
Right.
So it is strictly just the investment to find out like lot square footage and all that stuff.
I gotcha.
So some of the stuff did surprisingly come back and was relevant, but a lot of the stuff was, like, I don't know if we're ever going to use this. And then I would contact the people that are in the field, like, hey, how often have you ever used this? And they're like, pretty much never.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm going to store that in long-term memory, but I probably won't recall that. I'll have to go back and, and read on that one. I'm trying to think of one of the things that was kind of pounded in our head from the training that has never been used. But
I can't even think of anything.
Yeah. And there's some things that they don't cover, or they cover within like just 2 sentences, like accelerator clauses. I think there was like 2 sentences on that whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, weren't you guys saying the other day too, like nobody really has shown you how to fill out the paperwork until you really get into the field as well?
Oh yeah. Well, and that's what, like, having somebody who, like I said before, like not hand holding, but like the courses just teach you how to get your license. It doesn't teach you how to write a contract, how to list a house, how an MLS works, or anything like that, Yep. And so I think having like that brokerage or a mentor, somebody who can teach you, like, can I shadow you? Because I don't know what I'm doing to show a house. I don't know how like these lock boxes work, right? Or like what to point out, what not to, like,
Right.
how do I explain this thing, and so I think a lot of it just comes with experience, which jumping into the field can be hard because you don't have any. But yeah, like having that person that can show you, okay, here's how you put a listing into the MLS. Here's how you write a purchase offer, like you need these documents to go with it.
Yeah.
You know what I have to give you guys credit for is writing up the property descriptions. I'm not an agent.
Oh,
so
I hate it. I hate it so much.
But I am like, I read some of these descriptions. I'm like, oh, wow, I wouldn't have thought of that. I wouldn't think of that word. The creativity that comes out when you guys write those descriptions is phenomenal. So applause to you.
I am not a creative writer. And so for me, I sometimes struggle with it, but I try to be like as descriptive as possible. And like what my coworker told me, she was like, write it as if you're walking through the house. You walk in the front door, what's there? And then you go upstairs and what's there, try to use all the characters as possible.
I love it.
Yeah, I will have Natasha happily write those for me.
Says
You're
no.
in marketing. Your claim to fame is I make things look pretty. You got to make the description look pretty. I am terrible at writing, and I'll admit that. Terrible.
I should not have even opened my mouth today.
When I do have to write those descriptions, I will happily sub that out to somebody to write it and pay them happily for that, because it's hard.
It is.
It's hard.
Yeah.
To make it sound like it's an advantage to have that in there, because sometimes when I write them, I'm like, it would be better if we just left it blank. Let them describe it for themselves.
I actually hate when agents will leave the description blank, because then I'm having to guess things from pictures. And I'm like, can you give me something? Like just 3 lines even, like give me the basic.
Yeah.
Bedroom,
no, absolutely.
1,000 square foot, done. There you go.
Like just give me some type of description.
Yes. I do agree. I've never left them blank. I'll confirm that for everybody. Have never left a description blank. The one thing I do like, because the hard thing that I've seen with clients is what you just said about give me something so I know like just the basics, because they try to look through the pictures, and sometimes it's a picture of a bedroom upstairs, then the hallway downstairs, then here's one of the yard, then there's a basement, and it's not connected. So you have no idea how the flow of the house works from the pictures.
That is one of my biggest pet peeves too, is it's like and I don't know how your guys' MLS works, but like mine lets me reorder and put descriptions on the pictures. And I'm like, it's not hard to just drag, or if you have 20 pictures and you need to make number 20 number 2, it drops down. You can select what number picture you want it to be, so that, like you said, it flows. And it's like, it's not hard to just redo that or put master or owner suite. We're not supposed to say master bedroom anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's not hard to be like, here's the kitchen. This is the owner's bedroom, bedroom 2, bedroom,
Some agents are just plain lazy. Like,
oh yeah.
It's so funny though, because I feel like in the Midwest, and I bring this up almost every show, but I feel like in the Midwest, our pictures are really kind of nicely thought out, or at least they're semi-professional photos. If you go out to Oregon, where we have our investment property, the photos are literally like maybe cell phone photos at best. Like they're disgusting. I'm sorry. Again, I'm sorry. It's true. Like
you're good. No, we get those here. And so I literally give my clients the disclaimer that it can go either way. Some people are really good with taking pictures. And so the pictures might look great online, and then you could get to the house and the house is crap, right? Or it's just like, I went to a house west of Columbus, about 40 minutes, and the pictures online looked great. And we got there was trash in the garage, like literal trash bags that smelled horrible. There was still like personal property in the house that whoever took the pictures just took the pictures around that stuff.
Oh my goodness.
And then you get the agents who maybe they don't have the best cell phone, or they don't pay for a photographer. Mm-hmm. And so then you can tell they're like cell phone pictures, right? And you're like, so what's going on in this house? And you get there and it's like the most beautiful house in the world.
That's crazy.
Like, yeah. So I always give that disclaimer, and I give the disclaimer that grandma houses are gems because grandma takes care of her house. And it might have been sitting on the MLS for 7 days, but it's because I don't like to label myself as a millennial, but it's because some like millennial Gen Xer is like, oh, I don't want to live at grandma's place, right? Because they don't see the possibility.
Exactly. They can't picture what a coat of paint on the wall can do, or taking down paneling, like, it's those small things that's like, no, it's actually a really well kept up house, but it's not pretty yet.
Yes. That's that comes with experience though, especially for those buyers who this is maybe their first house, or their parents may never have owned a house, they've rented, so this is really their first purchase. To explain the cost, sometimes a repair for a house that would cost $2,000, you're like, oh, that's a lot, and you're like, that's not a lot for a house. So their shock of like price on everything goes skyrocketing when it's really not that big. And you can talk about, and I feel like the phrase "if it's got good bones" is so overused at this point. So you talk about the structure of it and the cleanliness of the framing of the house. A lot of it is just countertops and paint and molding and like all that stuff you can take off and put back on. That's the makeup. And trying to get them to see what is makeup, what is bones, and how that does differentiate between the two.
For sure.
So that they feel comfortable going in. I've seen that so often about just the fear of the unknown, I'll call it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And when they see carpet in the bathroom, it's like an automatic turnoff. And it's like, no, just rip that out, put in some vinyl plank. That's a weekend, and then you're done.
Yeah, for sure. Or you can even get really adventurous and tile it.
That would be cool. That would be cool. And with all the accessibility to information on YouTube these days, you could be coming from nothing, watch some YouTube videos, and put a house together fairly well, makeup wise. Like, I'm not telling people to watch a YouTube video and build a house. Probably not a good idea. But you'll be able to like know how to lay flooring that you can go get at a box retailer.
I mean,
pretty easily from YouTube.
You can even be like my husband. He learned how to paint because he had never painted any room and in any house. And so he learned how to paint my son's bedroom when we first started dating. And that's kind of why I kept him around. So
going into more of the specifics of your market and how you operate. Well, actually, before we go there, sorry, can you, because I know this is something that I talk to people about, in your perspective, like just your view, did you interview with any big box brokers before you joined in with the smaller?
I actually did not. I have since then, because I've had a couple like want to recruit me and everything. And so like I'll entertain the idea, like, because you never know what life's gonna throw at you. So I'm like, it's good to have a plan F or whatever, just in case. And so I actually never did. Like, I went to my first broker, which again, it was kind of like mid-size, but I went there because the agent that had like became like family was there. And I was like, okay, because she didn't have her own brokerage anymore. So no, I actually didn't interview with any of the big names because I knew deep down that I didn't want to go to any of them.
Yeah. And since then, with your interviews, what have you, obviously you've stuck with the smaller brokerage. Were there some things that you liked about the biggers and some things you didn't, or how did that factor into what you are doing?
Yeah. So like most of it was because like a lot of them do provide good training, but for me, like a lot of it really isn't training that any small brokerage can't offer also, and so like, do they have good training programs, good mentor programs? Absolutely. But for me, it was like the commission, the office, like, I could work from home or I could work in their office, but even if I don't use their office, I still have to pay an office fee. I have to pay a marketing fee. I have to pay somebody to go put my sign in a yard. I can go put my own sign in a yard and a lockbox on, you know?
Right.
And like, so it was all the little things of like, you know, I never wanted to be on a team. And for some people, teams work out great, but it's just not my cup of tea. And so that's really where it was for me, was like, why would I pay this huge commission and all these extra fees that like my commission's not even going towards, for something that I can get the exact same thing at a smaller brokerage? I can call my actual broker 24/7, him or his husband. My brokers are amazing. So I can call them and just be like, here's my issue, right? My coworker that we started in real estate together, she just got her broker's license. I text her all the time. Hey, here's this issue. Do you got 5 minutes to talk me through it? Because I've never had this before, you know, or what would you do? At a big name brokerage, I can't just call like the head broker, right? I've got to call a team lead or the district person or somebody else. And like, I just didn't want that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that in my mind, again, we're in the same shoes. So I'm guessing there's going to be some similarities. The fact that I could outreach to that, I'll call top dog or the broker, and have more of a personal relationship in that capacity was way more beneficial than the training courses and technology that the bigger brokers had.
Oh, absolutely.
Because right now I have a call every 2 weeks with the broker just to catch up on, hey, what do you have going on? What's new? He'll update me with some stuff. I'll ask some questions that came up on the week. And sometimes it's not even pertaining to the broker because he's built as well. So sometimes we'll get off on tangents about like projects we're doing or other things that are going on, all revolving around real estate. But that's more beneficial. That's more of like the friend leader that I gravitate towards, rather than sit me in front of a computer, take a couple more tests, do a couple more training things, and then you'll figure it out along the way.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So definitely similarities there. Now moving into that, staying at the small brokerage, how do they help you in terms of the marketing side? Did you see any differences in how the big box would do it in comparison to how you guys do it?
Honestly, no, because I do our marketing.
Okay.
So like, well, so for our Columbus office, so we have like our main
And you do it for the
office
whole office, right? You're saying?
Yeah. So like we have our main office is in Toledo, and then we have Columbus where I'm at, and we have a broker or an office in Southeast Michigan. So I don't do Toledo and Michigan. I only do Columbus. So I do all of mine. I have a master's in business administration. And so like I really started using that when I got into real estate, and like come to find out I'm really good at digital marketing. So I do like almost all of the marketing for our Columbus office, and we're pretty small right now, so it's not like overwhelming. And so I honestly just use like Canva, and I make a pretty graphic, and I post it with some like fun terminology and whatever, and throw it up on social media.
Love me my Canva. Let me tell you, I had no idea about Canva when I first started in marketing. I was like strictly Photoshop and Illustrator, and then all of a sudden this whole Canva thing fell in my lap, and I was like, this is amazing.
Girl, if you asked me to do something in Photoshop, I would not know where to begin. I don't know how to use that. So I'm grateful for Canva, because again, like I don't have a very like artistic brain, right? And so Canva having templates, I was like, oh, well, I like that, but if I just change these colors, it's perfect, right? So yeah, so when it comes to marketing, like I just do it for myself, and like I've created my own website and my own like client guides is what I call them. Like, what's going to happen. Here's the basic process for buying a house. Here's the basic process for selling a house, And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know how the big brokers do it, but I'm sure they have a team of people who aren't agents doing it for them.
Yeah, it's probably one of the fees, the marketing fees.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any sort of system to bring new buyers or sellers in, like a CRM that you guys use?
Yeah, so we do like online leads through Sync. It's CINC.
Yeah,
And
another
I also,
similarity. That's what we use.
yeah, so we use that. And then myself and my coworker, we call for sale by owners through Vulcan 7.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then I mean, like I work a lot of my sphere. So a lot of my buyers and sellers for the last like 2 years have really been just like people I went to high school with or people I used to work with. Hey, I know this friend, you know, um, so that's been a lot of my business compared to my coworker. She really doesn't work her sphere, and she will both cold call all day. I don't mind cold calling somebody.
Yeah.
And so we do a lot of that.
I cannot do the cold calls. I can't. It makes me want to pull every hair of mine out of my
Oh, see, for me, it's like I don't care if a stranger tells me no, but I don't want to cold call my friends for referrals. Like I put my information out there, they know, right? They
Right.
don't have to use me. I know I'm not for everybody, but like I don't want, like I had a business coach and she was amazing. And she was like, but you need to call your friends for referrals, like all the time, every week. And I'm like,
Oh,
I know my friends, and if I keep calling them for referrals, they're gonna stop answering my phone calls.
Yeah.
I'm like 100%.
That was
Yeah.
my philosophy too. My friends know what I do. That's all I talk about when I'm with them. Like they know pretty well what I do. I don't
Yeah.
need to call them and tell them like, hey, if you're in the market, let me know. They know.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
I feel like they're not giving my friends if I do ask them
I
to
was
have
just,
them be their agent.
absolutely.
yeah. If you want to be my friend, be my friend. Don't be my friend.
Yeah.
What I can do for you, you know?
Yeah. And for me, it was like keeping that genuine relationship. Obviously, like my clients who have bought and sold houses with me, like I'm their number one. So like they are like, yeah, I give everybody your name. So what I've switched to is, hey, if you give my name out to somebody and they haven't like called me, can you give me their information so that I can call that person? Because a lot of times we all forget, we get busy, right? And so it's
Yeah.
like not the top priority to call this realtor who I don't know, but
Right.
I'll call them. So for me, I'd rather cold call every day because I don't know that person. They can tell me to go screw off and I'll just call the next person.
Yeah. Yeah. So I definitely side more on I will call a stranger and talk to them and they can say like, no, I've got an agent. I'm like, okay, great. Sounds good.
Yep.
Just
And
kind of
100%.
This is why
way
you
less fear in reservations on that than calling my
Yeah.
friend. Be like, hey,
When
I know we talked last week and I told you about the real estate, but like, do you know I'm an agent? They'd be like, yes, I know. Stop
Yeah.
calling.
And I've told complete strangers, they'll be like, oh, well, I was just looking. And I'll tell them like, hey, look, you can tell me to like go F off because you don't know me. But like, can I ask what made you start looking? Right. Like
Yeah.
those questions to get some answers out of them. And I've had them laugh at me. They're like, I think you're the only person who ever said that to me. And I'm like, hey, I just try to keep it real, you know?
Yeah.
sure. More agents do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially with Sync's a system that you get you get the information they input. So hopefully you get their name, phone number, email. Sometimes there's some John Does with some 555 numbers.
We've gotten some really funny names on some of our sync leads.
Yes. So I'll just say you get what information they put in. But the cool thing is, other than that, you get houses that they've looked at. You can see address. You can see how many times they viewed it. You can see when they viewed it. And not in a creepy way because they do opt in for this thing.
Yeah.
So you can call them and say, hey, I heard you were looking at this house. They're like, no. And you're like, okay, well, you looked at it like 4 times. So something about the house is interesting. I'm not saying you have to work with me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull like houses, the ones that are similar in that same area as the one you were looking at. just to see what other houses are out there. If you have any questions, give me a call, and I'll just leave it at that, and then send them up on an email reminder.
Absolutely.
Just get the name out. And it's very passive. I don't say like, hey, I'm calling so that you work with me. If you have an agent, great. Have they set you up on a search? If they haven't, I would talk to them. Like, what else are they not doing? Because that's a pretty simple, basic thing.
Right, for sure.
The fun thing I like about Sync is that, like, you know, you call people and they say, like, on average, you have to call somebody about 6 times before they might answer their phone, right? So a lot of us, like, I don't know about you guys, sometimes now that I'm an agent, I answer my phone, but before that I used to not. And but in Sync, you can send video messages. And some people, like, if you send them a text message, hey, this is Corrinne, blah, 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 they're going to be like, is this a robot? Right. But if I send them a video message, they're more likely to respond. Like, I had a guy that I sent a video message to, just, hey, I'm following up, blah, blah, blah. And he responded back like, well, you have the wrong number, but you're cute though. And I was like, and I just responded, I was like, oh, well, sorry, thanks. If you ever need to buy a house, let me know.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Send them a video of like the wedding ring, like, sorry,
Yeah, like,
I'm only gonna help you with the house here. Oh, we're gonna have to connect after the show, because I didn't know you could do video messages.
Oh yeah. Now
I'll be all over that.
Mine tells me that I've reached my video limit, so I have to figure that out. But it's really fun.
I didn't know there's a video limit.
I didn't either. I got to get with my guy who, like, oversees it to figure that out.
Interesting. And yeah, we're gonna have to connect offline. I've got millions of questions on that, but we're not gonna bore the audience who might not ever see Sync. So we'll do that offline.
Absolutely.
Do you have what do you know of, or have a guess of what your conversion rate is on Sync? Or do you get more conversion off Sync, or just like the organic referral?
I have a better conversion on my organics, but there are, like, some of our other agents who have a better, like, our Toledo agents have a really great, like, conversion rate from Sync to being a client, compared to where, like, mine is more organic. Like, I'll call Sync, but a lot of times, like, they don't answer, or, you know, you follow up, whatever, and they still don't respond. So I don't know, maybe it's just me.
Yeah, it's hit or miss, and it is a numbers game. So obviously you're going to be calling a lot of unknown people, that there's no skin in the game for anybody. So a lot of phone calls that go untouched and all that stuff. So you got to keep in mind the numbers game of any sales role.
Oh, for sure.
So it may not feel like a lot, but for the price of, and I don't know how your brokerage handles office costs and all that stuff, but for the cost of what Sync is, it's a really great way to get those active, and you know they're active for the most part. Yeah. Which is great.
Absolutely.
What else do you guys do in terms of your brokerage that sets you apart in your market? Is there like a claim to fame that you guys have, or your tagline?
I don't think we have a tagline. I mean, like,
you got to create a tagline. You're in charge of marketing.
I know. We say, like, we always say at Serenity, your family. And so, like, and I tell my clients, like, if it's a referral from a friend, like, if I'm not coming to Christmas dinner by the end of our transaction, I did something wrong. Okay. So that's my thing, is everybody's family. Like, you know, I lost my train of thought, but everybody's family. Like, I don't want to be just your agent. Like, I'm here as your friend. I'm here to answer any questions you might have. Like, yes, I have a family. There are boundaries. If I'm up at 10 o'clock at night and you text me, I'll answer you back, but I might not answer you if I'm obviously asleep or something, you know? Yeah. But yeah, so we treat everybody like their family. You know, we do client appreciation events, which I'm sure, like, other brokerages do too. But we do our client appreciation events. We try to, you know, just make sure that they feel like their family and not just another number.
Yeah. A lot of stuff you can offer with the smaller brokerage, I'm sure. Obviously, with the bigger box or the franchises, you've got things you have to do and rules you have to abide by. Yeah. That takes the personal touch out of it a little bit.
For sure.
It could be. I'm not bashing them. They
No,
they
no,
do
you're
have, I
fine.
feel like I've just bashed them the whole show. They do have a really good setup. There are a lot of people that prefer to do that because like what you're saying is you do the marketing or you do the cold calls.
Yeah.
In those bigger brokerages, some of them I've seen, they have like assistants that'll do the cold calling for you and set appointments. So you really just have to go out, show the
Yeah.
house, and then report back to the office and they'll fill out the contract. So you
Yeah.
could basically just do the personal
Totally.
side and not
Yeah.
worry about the paper.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I like what we do is, and I tell my clients this, like if I end up going on vacation, there's just enough of us here that like somebody else is going to show you houses like while I'm on vacation, but they're just as knowledgeable as I am. They're going to treat you just the same as I am, right? But like you get to other places and maybe if you called me and said, "Hey, Corinne, I have this going on, but my client needs to see this house. Could you go show them this house?" I'm going to say, "Yeah, absolutely." And I'm not going to ask you anything for it. Other places are like, "Well, you have to pay that agent to show the house for you, blah, blah, blah." If you want to pass me money, by all means, but I'm not going to ask you for it, you know?
Yeah.
So we treat our agents like as family too. Like I'm not here to take your business, but I want to help you if you need it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And that is cool that even though you're small, you still have other brokers or offices, I'll say, in different cities where you can pass if they're moving out of that direct area.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's another benefit
For sure.
to being at least the size you are,
Yeah,
having three
absolutely.
offices. So that's good. We only have about 5 minutes left. I want to ask you about this year coming up. Like, what are your goals? What are you striving for? Do you have closing goals? Do you have dollar amount goals? What do you guys how do you wrap that in?
Yeah, so my biggest goals this year are in Columbus, we have a President's Merit Award, which is you sell $1 million. And so I thought it was cumulative. And if it was, I would have hit it last year. However, it's not. So that's my big goal this year is to sell $1 million just to get whatever shiny little award, you know? So I don't ever, so I've set myself like closing goals before, and then like life happens, the market happens, whatever, and I don't hit it. So I try not to put a number on that per se versus putting a number on like how many new clients I want to get, you know, because we know how the market is. But if I can get 2 new clients a month, then you know, maybe one of those clients will close the following month, but it depends on when they get in contract, right? So biggest one is that merit award, and just continuing to grow my business and everything, you know, connecting with, you know, people like you guys and having that connection, because maybe I have somebody that needs to move. You guys are Chicago, right?
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
A little
Okay,
bit north.
I don't know why I was thinking Chicago, but I can always call and say like, "Hey, Marcus, I have this person for you," you know? So making those connections, continuing to grow and just, you know, grow personally, professionally, grow my business are really like my biggest goals this year.
Good.
Awesome. What I'm looking forward is you coming on in about a year from now, and right over your shoulder is going to be the Merit Award.
Yeah.
Right
I'll
here.
have to put it up on my shelf.
Yep. That's what we need to see next show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully you're making strides already to that goal, because we're already into the second quarter
I know, it's
of the
crazy.
year already. So
yeah,
good luck on the final 3. I mean,
Thank you.
2.5-ish that were, well, just over
Yeah.
that you got left. Keep pushing, keep making the cold calls. I'm sure you'll get there. I mean, it sounds like you're in love with it, so it's not the passion that's behind it. So
Absolutely.
I'm sure in a year from now you'll have it.
That's the goal.
And then you set the next goal for 2023.
Well, I think a good way to get her name out there is to find out how clients can get a hold of you.
Yeah.
Good plug, Natasha.
Marketing on.
So I am on social media, and Natasha, if you want, I can message you links too. I'm on Facebook and Instagram at Facebook is Realtor Corrinne is my business page. Instagram, I'm Corrinne Pugh Realtor with underscores in between. And I'm on LinkedIn under Corrinne Pugh. And like I said, I just created my website, which is CBUS, so like Columbus, but shortened, cbusrealtorcorinne.com.
Love it. Very cool. We'll include all of that stuff in our show notes for sure.
Awesome.
And we can't wait to give you as many plugs as we can.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. And it was really awesome talking with you guys today.
You too. You too. Glad to hear that everything's going well. Super fascinating story going from business administration, somehow getting into probation, and then actually being able to use your degree in something. And it sounds like you've hit it in stride, loving every minute of it. So keep pushing, keep going. We'll be rooting for you here in Milwaukee.
Yay.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
You're so welcome. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, enjoy the rainy weekend of the Midwest.
I'm hoping it just warms up. So
me too.
Hopefully for you.
I hope so.
Fingers crossed. But thanks for giving us an hour on your Friday. Go finish out your stuff so you can enjoy your family this weekend.
Yeah, awesome.
Unless you have showings, which always pop up.
Yeah, you know.
But we'll connect you. We'll connect with you. We'll have you back on. We'll say like close to a year from now so we can see that award.
Okay, awesome.
All righty.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right. Have a good weekend.
You too. Bye.
Bye.